Hey guys, we're back with some more Fate Grand Order with Traum. This seems like the active Act 2. The active Act 2, yeah, no, the start of Act 2. Especially because, so it's a 22 section singularity. I was just looking at the length of like the upcoming videos. Then there's not a long one again. So the end of Act 1 was long, which was 7. The next long one is 14. Come on, that's the end of Act 2. It's definitely, you know, that kind of structure. See, if this were a Sakurai Lost Spell or singular whatever, we would now be going to kill the reinstatement realm for the next 7 sections. Then the 7 after that would be dealing with those. But with Higashida, you never know. We could be doing anything. We could be going over to Lost Spell 7 for a quick minute. It could be anything. But yeah, I did kind of spoil myself on something. Basically, I'm not gonna say what it was, just, you know, in case anyone doesn't know here, but it's not that big a thing, I think. I had an idea of why Minerva, the owl from Olympus, was here, or an owl like Minerva rather, and I googled it trying to see if there's any evidence back in Olympus for that, and I did kind of see, oh yeah, my theory was right. So yeah, that's a spoiler, but like I already came to that conclusion because I'm a genius. So it's not that bad. Oh, why is that still gunning? Okay, just get that out real quick. Oh, can't see animate. I think that's Moriarty. Come on, that's definitely more, yeah, okay. What's with like the eyeshadow? No, he's just British. Yeah. Sherlock Holmes is my rival. He's the light to my shadow. However, in this new role as a foreign disciple, our past rivalry is irrelevant. Only his abilities matter now. His capacity to observe, deduce, and reach the truth. I cannot have him bringing those abilities to bear here. So I planted seeds of doubt. I appeared to him and showered him in a torrent utter nonsense. Yes, utter nonsense. Then showered him in a torrent of utter nonsense. I think they forgot a word. But assuming my position is assured, you'll no doubt lose sight of what is truly important, thanks to my efforts. If Holmes means to uncover the truth, then I shall be a wall to block his progress. You'll never overcome the barrier I represent. I see. Seems this foreign guy thinks things through very well. It's a shame Vlad III sealed himself away with his own stakes. A powerful servant like him would have made an excellent piece on the board. Oh well, suppose I should just have to move some other pieces instead. Like what about? I just can't say. Yeah, we ended up on a cliffhanger last time. Holmes? My apologies, I forget exactly what it was. No matter how I try, can't seem to get a read on this Moriarty. I don't believe he's this singularity's master, but aside from that, what's with you? Not usually so hedgy. Nonetheless, arrived at a conclusion, though one that yet remains ill-defined. This singularity, masters are all but meaningless. I did have a theory, well, it was just an idea, I don't think it's true. Just, you know, we saw David Blue Book again. What if, like, you know, he or like someone related to him, like the guy that killed him, assuming there's a singular master, like, and it's someone we know, if it's not Moriarty, like, who else is left, right? My other one is, you know how this is the Holmes sus chapter? What if it's Holmes himself? But I was thinking David Blue Book, maybe, like, see, the thing is though, like, I think David Blue Book is David. I know nothing about Lost Boat 7, pretty much, but so I don't know if that's the case or not, but I know, I'm pretty sure their names have the same katakana. So I mean, come on. This singularity, masters are all but meaningless. Then, does that mean it's impossible to get rid of the servants here by finding and killing their master? Of course, the question remains, like, how are they powering everyone here, right? Like, there's more going on. Yes, I believe we should assume as much. Well, that's going to be a problem. We recruited you Chaldeans because we were counting on you to do exactly that. You were? Naturally, that in no way precludes us from cooperating in a different manner. For example, we could win this war against the Revenge and Reinstatement realms, acquire the Holy Grail sustaining those realms, cause the Singularity to collapse. We better get 3 Holy Grails for clearing Traum. Would that not be a viable option? Sure, we could actually accomplish that. What about the numbers problem? Their armies are far larger than ours. Of course, if taking that into consideration, we remain confident we can win. There are certainly plenty of challenges to overcome. This situation is by no means hopeless. What do you think, sir? Right. Sir Sherlock Holmes. Yes? Please save proper human history for us. Consider it done. That being said, there are only so many things we can do at the moment. Our first few steps should be taken as a small mobile commando unit. Then we'll have a few other servants accompany you. Oh, there's actually a third theory I have, but it's based off like basically when Traum came out 2 years ago, I read some stuff about it and I didn't really understand what was going on with that, so I was just like, yeah, let's not dig deeper into that, even though I really wanted to. It's possible that Master's related to that, but like, I don't know. There are servants besides Roland and Astolfo we're fairly sure we can trust. Thank you, that'll be a great help. It's a safe bet they'll be keeping an eye on us too. That aside, Sancho's pretty much been running the show ever since they revealed their true identity, hasn't she? In fact, now that I think of it, she was the one who conveyed what Charles the Great was supposedly saying all that time. Doesn't make sense Sancho would be better with political stuff than Don Quixote, given his background. It'd be one thing if she was just Sancho. But the story of Don Quixote also has an imaginary princess, a deceptive maid, and a nameless duchess. Oh well, who cares? Maybe, even if things turn out badly. That's Caldea's. Really, Horsey's problem. I mean, come on, I mean, you'll die too, buddy. I'm just here to provide support. That's all. Hey, that concludes our business for today. Prepared rooms for all of you, so I invite you to relax for the rest of the day. Oh, them? Well, sir, you heard them. Sounds like it'll take more than killing a master to repair this singularity. So it does. What shall we do? Speaking for myself? No, absolutely not, Sancho. Still have to stay on this throne. I have a duty to uphold, no matter what anyone else says. Isn't that right? Yes, sir. That's what you want. Alright then, I'll come up with a few possible missions for the commando unit. Good. And please allow me to select the servant who will keep an eye on the Chaldeans. We may be low on personnel, but we're still in charge of an entire realm. There's a large population of capable servant resources to choose from. Phew. It would seem we're being monitored. It also doesn't seem as though they can hear us. Put up a light soundproofing battlefield for good measure. Want me to? If you would. Oh, imagine having a guy who can actually do magic with you. Well, we've had a chance to relax and catch our breath, which is all well and good. But going forward, how sure are we can rely on Don Quixote instead of Charles the Great? We probably shouldn't. Right? Nonetheless, this is still the only option available. Both the Revenge Realm and the Reinstatement Realm are fully functioning autonomous societies. They have demonstrated clear hostility to all of proper human history. If the Righteous Realm were similarly inclined, our goose would be well and truly cooked, as they say. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but still. Who cooks goose or geese? I've never had goose. I mean, I've never had duck either, but like duck's more common, right? Like, I don't know where that saying came from. Never mind that now, Gordy. Isn't there something else we should be doing first? Yes, you're right. Horsey, I commend you on making it back alive. Well done, my boy. Thank you, sir. However, what have I told you about not getting captured in the first place? My poor heart can only take so much. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Gotta say though, really is impressive you made it back alive. Indeed. Suppose it just goes to show how luck, both good and bad, really can be a skill. Surprised though to hear you found a servant willing to betray your side and help you. Oh yeah, I want to talk more about Salome like before I started. Just, I feel like I really liked what they did with her character, right? Just, I wish they kept her around a little bit longer. Because like, problem with her character, right, is it is solely based around, you know, her madness enhancement and, you know, John the Baptist joking on. I hope I've been saying that right. Like, you know, we know nothing else about like her personality or anything, right? I just wish, you know, maybe a little bit more screen time for her would have been nice. But I mean, I guess that would have been hard to do. Like, kind of would have had to change that entire sequence if she lived. You must remember, Gordolf, servants are hardly mindless puppets. So I mean, if you got like a second interlude, that would be cool. Because like your first interlude basically is, it has a very similar subject matter to what, you know, was covered here. We have thoughts and emotions of our own. Sometimes meeting new people can spur us to temporarily grow and change. Of course, we must remember only records are sent back to the throne, but unfortunately we aren't able to preserve these feelings and memories across summonings. At any rate, who is this Seton person anyway? You know, I never did manage to figure that out. So you never even got a glimpse of him, huh? I see. I can't imagine who it would be besides Charles, like Charlemagne or Bradamante. Probably Charlemagne, because it seems like it was a guy. We could return to this Mr. Seton later. And why would they hide Bradamante that much? Right now, we still have more pressing matters to discuss. Oh, hey, you! So, hey, put together a table of everything we know about the Three Realms. Wanna see it? Definitely. I remember like one time I did a voice right for him. I was like, that's his voice, that's it. And I could never recapture it. Got it. I put it up on the screen. So now he's just a grumbling guy. Oh, hey, spreadsheet. Revenge Realm A, Scale A, Army Quality B. There's Cream Hill. Second is Jiangsu, greatest threat. They're more disciplined compared to the Revenge Realm. Okay. Seeing it all laid out like this, it's pretty obvious that the Righteous Realm hasn't really got anything going for it. Oh, there's C? Wow. Kind of amazing the managed to survive this long. They must be quite skilled in battle. Let us not forget the natural defenses this location affords them. Expect they also have a countermeasure for servants attempting to use their spirit forms to sneak in. They forgot a word. They must be servants, but they'll easily be easily intercepted if they're on foot, especially if they're to march in large numbers. Not to mention that if one of the other factions were to attack, the remaining faction would no doubt be quick to take advantage of that opening. I doubt she planned this all out intentionally. It's an impressive state of affairs all the same. Well, Holmes, the question still remains. What are you planning to do next? First of all, we should discuss the Moriarty calling himself a foreign disciple. And he was saying vague stuff that means nothing until we finish the singularity, and they're like, oh, that's what he's talking about. Safe to assume he's operating behind the scenes. While we could try to pursue him, that would not help to resolve the singularity's root cause. Then, you're gonna work with this realm to help them destroy the other realms, as you said you would earlier? Indeed. Don't believe we have any choice of negotiating something else. Well, that should be fine. This isn't a lost belt after all. Since they're the ones who started this war, they must be prepared for the consequences. But first, you're gonna start off in a commando unit, right? Wonder what that will involve. Pardon me, may I come in? I'll switch the comms over to audio only. Remember, in this mode, your response will seem like a soliloquy. I think that's how you say that one. Your door is open. I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean it sounds like a soliloquy? That's like a basically like a monologue, right? What does that mean? The Righteous Realm servant who will be part of this commando unit. Roland? Oh! Oh, hey, you! My name is Shufu. I'm a caster. Oh yeah, I guess she does come out in a couple weeks, doesn't she? They release her with, no, I looked up how to say her name, but I can never. Let's just say Archetype Earth. I've always look when I read Tsukihime, I saw the name. I said, "No, that's Arsuid." It is not Arsuid, but I will always say Arsuid in my head. Shufu, does that mean you're that one lady who really likes Consort You? So you've heard of me? Yeah, there's like a summer event. The court sorcerer Emperor Qinshi Huang sent to search for Mount Horai and the elixir of immortality. And you never came back, right? You didn't find it and you just ditched? I think that's Shufu. I see. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Shufu. I'm Sherlock Holmes, detective, and this is Kadaxam Lupus, Horsey. At least, wait, is that? That's literally Consort You on their shoulder. Is that what the secretary told me your aliases were? I understand you can't speak freely for a variety of reasons. Still, I'd be thrilled if you told me more anyway. So, tell me. Ha 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 ha, let us just say, all in good time. Oh yes, very smooth. All that aside, 2 casters in an extra class? We'd make up for a group. I think how they didn't say Holmes's class. Remember, the theory is he's a foreigner, or a pretender, or something, instead of a ruler. It's a long story. Lady Shufu, would it be alright if I introduce myself now? Who's this? Yes, that should be fine. We probably should introduce the other servants joining this unit. Well, I can assure you I didn't forget about him or anything like that. Is it Roland? Hahaha, no wonder the secretary trusts you so deeply, Lady Shufu. Truly are greater than your stature suggests. Oh yeah, his interlude, right. Dear Mud, who I've never said his last name before. Duban, one of the Knights of Fianna. Also known as Dear Mud the Dazzling. Pleased to meet you. Dear Mud. Do I recognize him? Oh, it sounds like you already know who I... What, we don't recognize Astolfo though? What the heck? Like... Dear Mud... He was in America, I think? Sounds like you already know who I am. Surprised. Not that famous. Perhaps we met in another singularity or during a Holy Grail war. But I guess that was a Higashida chapter. If we have, I'm afraid I have no memory of that. But here, I'll be proud to fight beside you. Work me as hard as you need to for this assignment. And that's what I call a hero's hero. A beauty indeed. Come to think of it, technical advisor, you've always loved all things beautiful, haven't you? Alright, now that we've made our introductions, perhaps you can tell us about our mission? Of course! Our mission is to determine the enemy's military strength and to secure an abandoned stronghold. Unfortunately, we're so low on personnel that we'll have to accomplish both in one day. You can tell the secretary's ready to run us all ragged, me included. It's gonna be such a hassle. Wish I could just run away. That was a sudden depressing turn. Sure, this is obvious, but just to be clear, I'll stick to providing rear support. Dear Mud here will lead the charge. That's right. Do everything in my power to escort you all safely. There's even the eye with a mole on it. Dang, he's so radiant, hurts to look at him. Still don't understand how the dazzling part of him actually manifests physically. It's the mole. Don't worry. Promise I won't dazzle anyone while we're undercover. Guess it's too much to ask for you. You did not dazzle in daily life either, huh? Anyway, we'll be setting out tomorrow morning, bright and early. Recommend you all change into your spirit forms or otherwise get as much rest as you can tonight. Wonder if this is gonna be a longer arc or just a short, like, wrap up this chapter. 0 AP, so I don't see how it wraps up in just one arrow in like the next like 10 minutes or so. I don't know exactly this chapter, but yeah, maybe it's just all of next chapter. Quiet, it's me, Kadok. Keep your voice down. I want to talk to you outside. Bounded field. Okay, that should do it. Are you ready, Mashu? Yes, I'm here. As you requested, Da Vinci's working on the Ordinax. Director Gordolph is asleep. The night staff are all dozing off too. The only member of Chaldea currently on active duty. Why did you want to talk to us alone? Just to be safe. We're gonna talk about someone being sus? After I woke up, I reviewed your records of everything that happened after the Russian Lost Belt, including records about the man from Chaldea. Oh, we're talking about it. About how there's someone at Chaldea we can't trust. He's not really Dr. Roman, but we didn't put that in the records, so how does he know? I know. I don't know who he is either. We'll have to put that aside for now. More importantly, do you remember what he said about there being someone who can't be trusted? We told everyone that! He said, hey, don't tell Chaldea I was here. There's someone there you can't trust. What did we do? We told everyone at Chaldea. Oh my god. What Archer said afterward about something feeling off? Archer? Who would have been the Archer there? Back in Atlantis. Oh, Orion? Oops. Of course. I really can't believe you wanted to report everything they told you when they're very clear you should keep it secret. Dang it, Gudo. Guess you wouldn't be you if you hadn't. You remember those records too, right, Mashu? You knew everything about who the man from Chaldea might have meant? It's all there in the report. I've given it some thought, yes? It just seemed too far-fetched to take seriously. Not exactly sounding like a mystery lover here. So you dropped it, just like that? Not another thought? Not at all. It was the opposite. I believe I thought about it as much and as logically as I could. But no matter how much I thought about what he said, it never made any more sense. How so? Well, someone in Chaldea's staff can't be trusted. That meant one of them is a traitor. It's Manir. He was evil the whole time. There's no evidence anyone has betrayed us. More importantly, no motive for anyone to do so. We call this kind of mystery a why done it. Oh, shut up. Who's the author of El Malloy? He's the... Oh, I was mixing him up with someone. He's the guy who wrote... I think? I'm about to say he's the Kino's Journey guy, but no, that's the guy who wrote the Sword Art Online spin-off. He really likes guns. Alright, I heard of those. Whoever told me about them also said, there's no meaning to be found in figuring out how done it's where mages are concerned. Not one that can do almost anything, including things outside the natural realm, but magic doesn't exist. Oh, isn't that... Oh, Whale says that too, doesn't he? But I feel like El Malloy talks about the why done it before. The reason they committed a crime, the why done it, that is always meaningful. That's some Willard H. Wright stuff. Right. And that clears everyone on Chaldea's current staff of suspicion. I can't see any reason for a member of our staff to want to help to wipe Earth clean. I mean, not being trustworthy doesn't necessarily mean they're on the foreign god side. Like, Moriarty's interlude makes it very clear that he believes Holmes's motives align with us for now, but in the future, they might not. They're just hiding their motivation. They would have tripped up long ago. If they didn't have any reason to reset Earth, they wouldn't have any reason to help prevent it either. Yeah, that's true. The crime's already been committed here, so why would a traitor go on to help the organization trying to undo it? Same goes for the servants too. That includes me, Captain Nemo, Da Vinci, and Holmes. None of us have anything to gain from Earth being wiped clean. If anything, the opposite holds true. That just leaves Sion, you, and Senpai, Master. And your alibi is airtight. You weren't even at Chaldea at the time. Senpai, of course, isn't a viable choice either. Frankly speaking, if he gave up on everything, our mission would fail that very instant. That's true, and plus, like, he was speaking to us at the time. Suppose Tion, as a member of the Alice Institute, can see this incident differently than we do. And that in turn could potentially give her some kind of motive to betray us. Maybe. But she's already done something that invalidates that theory. When the foreign god used a pseudo-black hole to destroy the Wandering Sea, Sion stayed behind at the very last second, at very real risk to her life. If she wanted to betray us, that would have been the perfect time and place to do so. I'm very glad we're having this talk, by the way. Frankly, if she had known what was going to happen ahead of time and then escaped on her own, we'd all be dead by now. You're really not at all suspicious that I did something somehow? Knowing those two, they could have predicted that I'd eventually come back to Chaldea. True. But it wouldn't even make sense for you to have started this conversation if you were the traitor. Okay, yeah, that's true. And just to be totally clear, I didn't betray anyone. Well, I guess that's not true. Did betray all of proper human history once. But I definitely don't have the guts to betray anyone holding the controls to a collar that could kill me at any time, you know? That's fair. I think you have plenty of guts. Aside from that, I agree with you. Betraying someone to save your own skin, when you know that betraying them would get you killed, it doesn't make sense no matter how you look at it. And that's not all. Me, Horsey here, the staff, the servants, our actions have all been consistent. My case is more complex, sure, still checks out in terms of consistency. Long story short, I betrayed proper human history, lost to you guys, got critically injured, recovered. Now I'm helping you guys out with restrictions on my behavior because it beats getting locked up or killed. Sure, I wasn't exactly being virtuous, but I was being consistent, yeah? That's true. Again, I have to think the one from Chaldea was missed. But you do have an idea of who it could be, right? Yeah, cut her off. Senpai! Not sure, but I do have just one more question. Think you can answer it with a search of the library, Mashu. That leads us to a clear answer. You can just forget all about it. But if it doesn't, I think we might be onto something. I already went ahead and launched the library search system, just in case. What's your question, Kadok? It's about servants. Start with Da Vinci. Chaldea summoned the original Da Vinci, and her successor unit is carrying on her work in her stead. So we know that Chaldea is her summoner, that she was helping before the incineration of humanity. Nemo was summoned by Sia and Eltnam, at least that's what the records say. He's got some phantom and divine spirits mixed in with him. We also know his summoning is legit. The servants Horsey's contracted with, including you of course, should all be fine. Kadok, you don't mean Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I do. Questions about Sherlock Holmes. Who summoned him? And when and where did they do it? Supposedly in London. What do you mean? Master does more than just serve as a battery for their servant. Through their contract, the Master serves as an anchor to keep them rooted in reality. That's the biggest reason they need Masters, even when those Masters are of no help in battles between heroes. Right, so if he is a rogue servant, how would he have ray shifted in the first place? But like, if he went from London to Camelot, he would have been able to sustain himself. Compared to that, the Magecraft support is just a nice bonus. But what about rogue servants? Good question. Yeah, there have been servants and other singularities who didn't belong to either Chaldea's side or the enemy side. But it was the land itself that summoned them, using the power of the Holy Grail which spawned the given singularity. In an attempt to put history back on its original track. Basically, rogue servants used the land as a kind of vessel, so it's no surprise they can act without a master. And of course, there were also rogue servants in some of the Lost Belts who didn't depend on the Holy Grail. Beowulf and Yasha leaps to mind. He really likes Beowulf. We hate Billy the Kid. He shot Anastasia. Then maybe that's what happened to Holmes too? First met him at the Atlas Institute, so... No, wait. Huh? We didn't meet, but he was at the Mages Association in London. Oh, that's right. Sorry? I wasn't thinking straight. Yes, you're right, Senpai. He himself said he had left a message for us in London. Did he? I don't remember that part. I vaguely remember being in the underground at the Mages Association. In London, you managed to safely acquire the information I left at the Mages Association, right? It's just paperwork, but it's been worth £1,000 to you at the time. I wonder, did Nasu have this all planned back then? Like, well... At London, probably not, but probably around Camelot, they were probably thinking, okay, this is a successful game, we should probably plan for a part 2. So he, probably. I could definitely see the land summoning him in London. That part makes sense. But then, how did he show up in Camelot and Shinjuku? We've asked Holmes about that. And he said that he managed to prolong his materialization and ray shifted on his own. You mean like Miyamoto Musashi? No, he can't do it repeatedly like she could. Said twice was his limit, and it came at the cost of seriously weakening himself. According to him, those two forced race shifts effectively rendered him incapable of combat. I see. So that's why he did almost no fighting in Shinjuku. When did he even show up in Shinjuku? Because wasn't he Edmund Dantes in disguise most of the time? After Shinjuku, he and Senpai, Master, formed an official contract. I think that was off camera. I don't think we ever actually saw that. That got rid of his, well, debuffs. Also made it impossible for him to race shift alone. At least, that's what he said before. I see. Well, that all makes sense. But still, something's still nagging at me. I can't figure out what it could be. Though I can say this much without a doubt. Holmes, of all people, would never betray us. There's just no way. When you take all of his accomplishments, his attitude, his motives, and everything else about him into consideration, it's obvious there's no theory that could possibly explain why he would have done such a thing. I trust Holmes completely. Yeah, but what did he see in the Himalayas? How about you, Horsey? I like that it gives you 3 options here. I'm gonna choose this third one. I know Holmes is a good guy. That doesn't mean I trust him. Oh well, it doesn't matter either way. Just giving you guys some food for thought. Having said that, Horsey, Mashu, can you just forget about this whole discussion? This is Holmes we're talking about here. I don't want things getting awkward if you trust him. If you start doubting him now, it's not gonna take long for Sherlock freaking Holmes to figure that out. That's easier said than done. Maybe you should hit my head to make me forget. Why would I do that? Use a really basic spell for sealing away memories. Can only be cast if the target consents to it, though. Those are some restrictions. What about me? How can I forget about this discussion? There's a file in Chaldea's library on the storm border. How do you know this? Number AG134458. Hit a memory sealing spell scroll there under the Alpine Goat section. You've been planning this all along, haven't you? This is the second time I've had a Gudo's had a Holmes is sus discussion and sealed it away. All you have to do is inscribe the date and time. Okay, I'll try that. Horsey, Mashu, this is only a seal. Probably won't make you forget completely. Your subconscious will still remember this conversation. So if you really trust Holmes, keep observing him and doubting him so we can put this at rest and trust him that much more. Got it? Alright, see you tomorrow. Isn't that like Danganronpa reasoning? I feel like a character used that reasoning a lot in Danganronpa. You gotta doubt him so you can trust him or something. Aren't they ever making a new one? Like, I think the director like quit, didn't he? I don't remember. Or the Charles Commandos. Okay. Looking forward to that. Very glad we had that second area. I've been waiting for that for ages now. But I can't believe the Chaldean said, hey, don't tell anyone this. And then Gudo immediately told everyone. Okay, guys. See you guys next time. Bye.